What is up, guys? It's Cody here. I really recommend you watch this entire video. This is really important. So I want to walk through my experience going through a Section 3 selling used books. And I want to talk you guys through the process and kind of how this worked for me and just how serious of an event this actually can be. So I just wanted to say that this has completely changed my way of thinking, my life, my motivation and everything, because this has been a complete disaster. It's really easy to forget the risk that you're taking while selling on Amazon when everything is working out just fine. But when something is not working out fine, it helps you really see how fragile the system really is. So someone like me, working a 9 to 5 every day and trying to make it on Amazon, this was catastrophic. It's not like I had a backup plan. It's not like I had anything. I was just selling used books, and the thing is I've thought that this was the safest way to go about selling on Amazon. I spent two years just about now learning used books, and I just get Section 3'd out of nowhere. My sales did not go up. They did not balloon. I've kind of stayed stagnant all year, and it was just a random Section 3. So the way Section 3s work is you're randomly hit with it. It's going to freeze your payouts, and then it's going to stop you from sending in shipments. Okay, this is pretty huge because, you kind of need payouts. The problem was not only was I not getting payouts or couldn't ship anything in, prior to that week of getting Section 3'd, I had switched entire models to online arbitrage. So I started buying regular items from different places. I was switching completely out of books. So I had spent like at least $1,000 or so in inventory, which is a lot for me, guys. This is a lot for me. I'm not a big seller, so that's a lot of money for me. And all of these items were sitting at Little Wild now, and I couldn't ship them in. So now I have to sit here and think to myself, do I go through and return all these to all these different stores, all these gift card purchases that I made? It's going to cause a whole bunch of problems. If you buy discounted gift cards, you understand, like, it's very annoying. And so they put a lot of stress on top of me with this whole Section 3. This was not fun for me at all. So anyways, I had to basically leave all of this inventory at Little Owl, contact them and contact Central Virginia Prep to hold all of my books, hold all of my inventory that I switched to, and just wait it out. So we're going to go over, I got a calendar here, and I'm going to kind of walk through the timelines here. I don't feel like showing you guys individual emails. Like, I have 3 good emails that are going to help explain a little bit here. But so I was Section 3'd on December 8th. I got my video call on the 16th. So I didn't actually figure out I was Section 3'd until the 11th or 12th because I actually didn't see the email. So then I see I'm Section 3'd. I scheduled the video call. Comes on the 16th. Let me tell you guys, this was about the most nervous I've ever been in my life because my entire seller account rode on this interview. So it was very, very scary. I didn't know what to expect, what to prepare. I will tell you, the one thing that you most definitely need is just your license. Just have a license, a physical license, whether it's a passport, whatever you need to prove that you are who you are. And then you just have to be ready for them to ask you random questions. And I'm telling you, it changes for everyone. I've spoken to 2 other people with Section 3s, and their interviews were totally different. So just know that they're going to ask you random questions on your account and stuff like that. And he asked me a lot of stuff. It wasn't just generic questions. He was having me go into the shipment templates and stuff and find out which warehouses I was shipping to the most, read them back to him, go in and check all the account status, like check in my what email I had on the account and all this. And so there was a lot to it. So anyways, so the 16th I finished that. After that, they send you this, and it basically tells you to submit all this stuff. Well, here's the thing. With books, this is a huge gray area. So copies of invoices, logistic details, all this stuff. Basically, the only thing you can do is send in what you have. Okay, so what I did was I spent I spent a lot of time going through all of my orders that I ever purchased on Amazon and finding as many invoices from eBay and Amazon for each of these quantities. So this was a hectic process as I'm looking through a year and a half worth of buying data. These were all done at different times. This was insanely chaotic. And this is because we're talking about used books. This is a gray area, so when they hit you with this Section 3, you kind of just have to do the best you can, because that's, yeah, and when you have this much pressure on you, it's a very, very stressful thing, because you don't know what's going to happen, because you don't have like a professional invoice from, a Macy's, from a Kohl's, from a Target. You know what I mean? You're literally using what you got. I'm an online arbitrage seller, so I actually had some Amazon receipts and I also had eBay receipts. So I was able to send them that. Well, my first mistake, and this is very critical in this video, I'm really hoping you guys watch this whole thing. So the critical mistake I made is, to meet the requirements for file size, I zipped the files to make them smaller, and I think zipped, compressed, whatever, and I sent them that on Tuesday. Okay, right after the interview, maybe 5 hours later, I got everything together. I sent them everything on the 16th of December. I sat here and waited the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, and I think it was maybe like Monday. I called them back, and I'm just like, or the 21st, I'm like, guys, what's going on? I haven't heard anything from you guys. And the guy on the phone said that they were not okay with the zipped files. So I was like, okay, I'll unzip them. I'll figure it out. And thankfully, one of my good friends, I'm not going to say his name just to keep it anonymous, had just went through a Section 3, and out of the kindness of his heart, he gave me some tools, like a free merging platform, which was absolutely huge, because it allowed me to not send all of these PDFs by themselves, but I could merge them all into one PDF, which allowed it made it easier for whoever was checking my stuff to just kind of like just go through like a receipt. Just one PDF with 70 some invoices or whatever. So that was really good. So the fact that this happened allowed me to kind of get my documents straightened out a little bit better, because originally I was sitting there going through and finding every single purchase and my bank statements and all that, and it was going to be a big mess if I hadn't actually resent documents and talked to someone that actually went through a Section 3 and beat it. So since I went through this, since I know someone that went through a Section 3 and beat it, I seen what they did, because they had almost the similar Section 3 as me, and I realized, like, hey, I don't need to sit here and highlight all of these transactions. Let me just make this a lot easier. So that's what I did. So that was really huge that this even happened. It was pure luck that this happened, that I was actually able to kind of regather my stuff and put together things in a different format. So I send everything back in after that phone call. I called them again the 23rd, because I got some random email talking about how they didn't want to accept the zip files. So I think it was like the 23rd. I called them again, and I'm like, guys, I sent you the stuff not in zipped format. Why am I getting the automated email? And again, they don't really understand. So they're like, you shouldn't be getting it. We received your documents. You're good to go. Okay. So I wait. I think maybe like the 29th or the 30th, I call them again, and they say they have the documents. They're being reviewed. They're pending. I'm like, okay, I'll leave you guys alone. I'll just keep waiting. Again, I'm getting random automated emails like this saying, thanks for joining the video call. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, I've already done that. Like, why are you still emailing me this? So again, random automated emails. Communication was pretty poor, this whole thing. The only reason I figured out that they actually didn't, we're going to go into that right now, but the only reason I knew something was wrong with the files that I sent is because I had to call them, and they went and looked. But the email they sent me about the zipped files was like 2 weeks after I sent everything in on the 16th. So I think I got, it was like a week and a half. Okay. Maybe I know I'm confusing the hell out of you guys, but I'm trying to explain to you guys. So the communication was really, really poor during this whole thing. Um, so I send them the stuff not in zip file, completely zip format, and I send it all to this right here. This is the email I've been sending everything to. And so it's crazy because it tells you here, submit this information on Seller Central, but if you go to Seller Central, there's no option to submit that stuff because unless your account got deactivated, it doesn't actually give you a place to submit anything. So this is wrong right here. You need to submit to the inbound appeals. So I send them this stuff that's not zipped, and I wait and wait and wait. Well, here's what happened. So I called them at least six, 7 times during this whole thing at different points during this last month. So on January 2nd, I wake up to an amazing email. We have deactivated your Seller Central account and your listings have been removed. I'm freaking destroyed at this point. I'm like, there's no way. I sent you guys everything you needed. I sent you everything, dude. Everything a bookseller could possibly have sent you. Like, I sent you as much as possible. Don't get me wrong. I was missing some of these, and I'll be straight up. I only had 66 of these, and I had 46 of these. These were all good, but, like, there was only 66 of these purchased on my account ever. So there's 71. I don't know where they got this from. And then this 47, I think they were off by 1 as well. I had 46 total purchases. I looked through everything I possibly had, so I don't know where their 47 and their 71 came from, but again, they deactivated me on January 2nd, I think this was. Yeah, January 2nd. This was huge, man. This broke me. I was just like, at this point, I was just like, just give it to me. Just let me know what the damn result is. I'm tired of waiting. Y'all are not communicating well. I don't know what's going on, and we're just, So I get deactivated. I call them when I get off work, and I got someone that really knew his stuff. Again, he was an Indian guy. English was hard to go back and forth, but he cared and he knew his stuff. So I walked him through the whole situation, and he told me, so I'm over here thinking I got deactivated because they didn't like what I sent them, okay? Because it doesn't say here that I got deactivated for any other reason. It just says I was deactivated. So I call, and I'm like, I start like kind of like snitching on myself almost. I'm like, dude, like I don't understand. Like I sent you everything a used bookseller could sell. Why would they have deactivated me? And then he comes back with, I got deactivated because I was 14 days past the original day they sent me the email that they needed the files that weren't zipped. So I'm like, I keep talking to him, and I'm like, okay, hold on. So you're trying to tell me they never even looked at any of my documents? And he's like, yeah, they never looked at your documents. So I sent them this stuff unzipped the way they wanted it, and somehow it got lost somewhere. Like, I don't know. They just didn't get it. So on their end, they're thinking I'm just not going to send them anything. So what happens is 14 days after they ask you for a change or whatever, your account gets automatically deactivated. So it had been 14 days since they sent me the email saying I need these not in zipped format. But again, I sent them that stuff 5 days after they sent me, so they just lost it. I don't know what happened. They just didn't have what I sent them. So I told him, I'm like, dude, I sent them in. Can you look? And he's like, I see them right here. We're going to transfer this over to the team. I don't know why they didn't find it. Maybe you sent them through a different email. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm using the same email throughout this whole process. Like I'm pretty sure, like, the team just lost my stuff or it got put on the back burner or something. So that's really what happened. Amazon just lost my documents or something. And so this guy, or they just, like, for some reason didn't look at them. I don't know. Like, I clearly sent them 5 days later. Like, when I called them and found out that that's what was the problem, I went home, I unzipped everything, I put them in single, and I merged everything. I did exactly what they wanted. And they dropped the ball, in my opinion. They lost them. And, thankfully I got the right person, and he ended up sending a message to the team telling them that I did send the right stuff and that they needed to review it. Well, that was January 2nd. We're now at January 5th. I just woke up this morning to an email, and I'm going to show it to you guys here now. So we've reviewed the information that you've shared. We've decided to reactivate your seller account. We have enabled shipment creation ability. We've removed the hold on your funds. So $4,000+ now back to me. Guys, I feel like the world has lifted off of my shoulders, guys. Okay. I'm going to give you guys some solid advice through this learning experience, and I want you guys to really listen here. After talking to him, first off, even with Amazon invoices, first off, they do like Amazon invoices, but he told me specifically when the team reviews the Amazon invoices, if the seller that's selling those titles, if there was any type of incident with that seller selling those titles, like there was a counterfeit thing or something like that, and you also bought from them, it could be a problem. He said this clearly. But Amazon invoices, he clearly said to me, and I don't know exactly how he said it, but Amazon invoices are going to protect you from selling used books 100%. He made it clear to me that they kind of hold responsibility. So again, that checks out. I heard this from the guy himself. He was very knowledgeable of how the whole process worked. He said that eBay is very different because they cannot verify the same way. They look at the person you bought it from, and then they deem whether they make that decision. It was really kind of unclear, the whole process of how they look at an eBay receipt, invoice, whatever. It was just like they look at some things like the seller and stuff like that or whatever. So again, obviously they accepted my documents finally. Now, what I've learned from this whole process, and this is the meat and potatoes of this video, this is the part you need to really understand. First off, selling used books is a very huge risk, whether you want to hear that or whether you don't. A Section 3 is going to randomly fall out of the sky at some point. If you don't get it, more power to you, but you don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen. If it does happen, you have to scramble around and get everything together and then hope that they accept it. You don't know that they're going to accept your invoices. I am very grateful they accepted it. And again, I don't know if this is just like a 99% success rate or an 80% success rate, depending on what you send them, if they always accept Amazon and eBay invoices. I don't really know. I don't have 20 people that all did the same thing and all got the same result. I have a few people that beat the case. I know 3 people so far that have beat the case, but they all provided invoices. If you don't have invoices or from eBay or Amazon, I don't know what the result's going to be for you. Like if you're thrifting, that's the thing here. If you're thrifting or doing bulk, I'm sure bulk sellers kind of have this process down. They kind of know what to do if this happens. They just get someone to kind of make them up a legitimate invoice or whatever, which again, I've talked about this. None of these are real invoices because used books cannot actually be traced. But if you're thrifting, you're honestly, and I hate to say it, and I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but if you're thrifting and you get Section 3'd, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. Because if you keep your receipts are not going to show individual ASINs and titles and stuff like that. I do not think they are. And if they are, I mean, you got to hope that the receipt doesn't fade, and you got to hope that Amazon's going to take that receipt as traceability for a supply chain. Again, it's a big risk. So sending all of your inventory into their warehouses is the risk because they have all the control. And then when they shut you down like this, here's the thing. Not only are they freezing your payouts, not only are they disabling shipment creation, but they're also threatening you basically that if you don't prove that you are who you are and that these are legit items, they're going to just basically take your inventory and make you pay for it, and then they're going to resell it off. So that's the issue there. You're going to have to pay for all of that inventory you have at Amazon. Now, let me tell you guys this. I really think if you're selling used books, again, I have a lot of experience selling used books. Whether you think 2 years is a lot or not, when I tell you I've spent every minute of my energy for those 2 years, I've learned so much about books. I will tell you my final opinion on books. I think books, you should be FBMing books to mitigate risk because, just sending in a stupid amount of books and just having them getting FBA'd, and just taking that chance that Amazon does something like this, I just don't think it's worth the risk. Now, if you're thrifting, I'm sure you kind of have to do that. It's just part of the model. If you're wholesaling, you kind of have to do that to get that extra money for FBA. Completely get that. But if you're doing online arbitrage, I think doing FBA is obsolete at this point. There's going to be some niche things that FBA still probably works for, whether it's maybe textbooks or things like that. But with Amazon doing this to the buy box, there's really no point of sending FBA. You're risking a lot by having your inventory with Amazon and them eventually charging you disposal fees if you get hit with a Section 3 and it doesn't come out positive. It's too risky to do FBA in my opinion. I think FBM allows you to just keep all of your inventory in your possession. If worse comes to worse, Amazon does some stuff like this. You can just sell all your stuff on a different platform, eBay, Alibris, Abe's, and you don't have to ever worry about paying thousands and thousands of dollars on inventory. Let's say you had 5,000 books in inventory and they shut you down. That's $25,000 in disposal fees, and all of that inventory just gets liquidated and they resell it and make money off of it. It's the worst thing ever, right? It's predatory, in my opinion. Now, I think used books should just be FBM'd at this point. I think, especially how slow they are, I think it's just better to just have a room or have your own storage unit where you just store the books and just, FBM them. It's really the best way to do it. If you're thrifting or wholesaling, again, it's a whole different model. Do what you have to do. But I think people that are doing online arbitrage, I think FBM is just the way to go. Now, again, what has this taught me? This has taught me that books is a very gray area. You don't actually know what the result's going to be from Amazon. And you have to just kind of hope and pray that Amazon takes your invoices. When you're put under the gun like this, you really start to see how fragile the system really is, because I just sat here for a month not knowing the result. Amazon also didn't trace my documents correctly, even though I sent them. They still deactivated me. So I've went 2-3 days deactivated, and it's their fault. I mean, I sent them the documents a week and a half ago, and they just didn't look at them because they just didn't find them. That is not my fault, and I'm deactivated for 3 days, no sales, nothing. And if you're a big seller doing 5,000 sales a day or something like that, you just lost like $15,000-$20,000 or whatever. You get what I'm saying. So, tip going forward for me, what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to continue selling on Amazon. But I'm going to FBM because I no longer want them to have any control over my life and my inventory. I'm never, ever putting the ball in their hands anymore. So I think I plan on FBMing. I'm going to have to get used to the shipment templates. I'm going to have to get used to all of this stuff. Hopefully I can get a prep center to do FBM for me. And just going to go from there because it's the only way to mitigate risk. And again, I'm talking FBM regular items, not books. I'm done with books. I think books is just, it's got so many problems with it. I think a lot of people keep selling books because they believe in the illusion that books is just such high ROI, and they just think it's like this just great opportunity. And I'm here to tell you it's not. It's just you probably just don't feel like matching website UPCs all day long and doing discounted gift cards and I will tell you that books has a lot of problems with it. Books are heavy, so your fees are automatically more than all the other media. Um, I think it's also hard to source books. In my opinion, I think it's just not that easy. There's not some abundant amount of books where you're buying 5 to 10 like show me a book where you can get 5 to 10 copies every 2 weeks and just replay that same ASIN over and over again. It's just an endless supply. I mean, there maybe some of you guys have those, but the only thing I can see that working with is like high school books and college books. I will say that high school books are a gold mine on selling used books. I think anyone can make a ton of money off of high school books, but all year round books, you're it's just hard to really find a consistent flow of inventory, in my opinion. That's why I'm moving out of books, and I think books is just too big of a gray area for me. I think there's no way to get a legitimate invoice for a used book. So as long as and we don't know, it feels like Amazon's really trying to move away from FBAing books. I think it really slows down their system, and I think it's just not smart on their end to do FBAing used books. I think they want sellers to kind of use them like an eBay platform and kind of ship the stuff themselves. So I don't know. It's kind of up to you guys if you sell used books. I think if you're not doing online arbitrage, my honest opinion is I don't know. I feel like you're just playing Russian roulette. You don't know when the gun's going to be pointed at you, and when the gun is pointed at you, can you provide what they want? What are they going to flag you for? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, did I ever think they were going to flag me for those 3 ASINs? No. Like, they were just random books I bought, like trying to learn the whole online arbitrage system of books. They were just random. So again, I made it out. I'm reinstated, which is just insanely good news. Trust me, guys. I woke my wife up, told her like, dude, like like I'm reinstated, bro. This is huge. Like I can finally, I got a lot of plans. I'm going to do a lot of FBMing, a lot of different items, and I think I'm going to really go big now. I think this whole deactivation has really taught me to get moving in life, and that, FBA is very fragile. All your inventory sitting at Amazon, yes, it allows you to have a storage facility. Yes, it allows you to streamline things with prep centers. But when the Section 3 happens, if it does happen, you got to scramble and hope that you beat it. It's almost like it feels like you're not going to beat it the whole time because what you're providing them is not really what they're asking. So, and again, guys, it's a very gray area thing, and you just have to be ready. I'm going to tell you guys one thing I think you guys should all do is, I think if you're buying used books and you're doing online arbitrage, buy them off of an Amazon business account, because an Amazon business account allows you, it gives you a lot better of an invoice. It gives you a lot more details on the invoice versus if you're buying from like a personal account. The invoice details are very shitty, and they're very lackluster. Like, the invoices I gave them had very little information because that's just how the personal account invoice looks. So I recommend you get a Amazon business account and make all your purchases off of that. If you're buying straight from Amazon FBM and selling back as Amazon FBA, or you get what I'm saying. Most people that do online arbitrage for books, they buy from FBM. So if you do that, purchase off of a business account. And yeah, just try to keep your stuff together and try to purchase all from the same credit card. Keep everything nice and easy, and expect a Section 3 at some point randomly. And you don't know when it's going to happen, guys. That's the problem. And it's just the risk you have to take. If you want to keep selling books, just realize that the Section 3 can happen at any point. And when it does, you're going to have to pull everything together. And it can be very stressful. It's a very stressful time. So I'm pretty happy right now, guys. I have a lot to do. I have a lot to figure out right now. I just actually took off work today because this is way more important to me, is getting all my shit together. And I'm not going to work today with all this happening, man. This is my Amazon selling account back, baby. I got to get to business. It's time to make money. I'm hoping I can bring you guys some videos of some serious sales. Trust me, this last month I have been digging through Amazon, through so many things, trying to figure out ways to sell on eBay and it's been crazy, man. It has been crazy. I have never, ever worked this hard in my life. This last month, I have done so much to try to figure out how the hell I'm going to survive with them charging me thousands for disposals and then holding up all of my credit card payments. It's been a hell of a month, guys. But I have learned that Amazon kind of does whatever they want. The book selling system is flawed. It's a gray area. They do not I don't think they understand fully that, these are used books and no one has a legitimate invoice. Obviously they understand enough to reinstate me, but they don't understand enough that they had me banned for a month when I'm selling used books and I provided them everything. I should not have been sitting here for a month just shit out of luck waiting for a result. That is insane. A month. If I was like a wholesale operation or some huge operation, this would have been catastrophic. If I had freaking employees or anything like that, thank God I'm just an individual seller, a brokey with no money that hardly makes any sales. Because if I was a lot bigger than this would have been huge. Waiting a month. So yeah, hopefully this helped you guys. Just realize that, like I said, Amazon, they didn't even like look at the documents I resent them, and then my whole account just got shut down because they couldn't find them. I had to keep calling them back. Again, that's your best friend is going to be the account health support phone number, and just calling them and trying to figure it out there. I think they do a decent job figuring it out. They definitely go in your account and figure out what's going on, and it feels like they do kind of know exactly what's going on when you call them. But sometimes they'll tell you like, hey, yeah, we've received your documents. And then I guess the team after them just like doesn't do their part or something like that. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. This was a huge day for me, and this has been a huge month for me. And I wish you guys all the best of luck. Keep selling books if it works for you. Just know it's a gray area and you don't know what's going to happen. Unless you're buying every single book off of Amazon FBM, you don't know if they're going to accept your invoices. He literally said straight up that, the eBay invoices, they sometimes work and they sometimes don't. It's not 100%. And I'm very grateful that my eBay invoices even worked. I really was kind of second guessing everything, and I really didn't think I was going to make it through this, but I did. And just realize that you're not safe. We all take everything in life for granted when it's not actually affecting us, but trust me, this can randomly hit your account and randomly change your life. So be prepared for it, and just realize that you're in the very small minority of people selling used books. Like, books are what, 10% of Amazon sales? Okay, therefore, what am I trying to say here? Therefore, they're treating you like the 90% of other sellers, and they're expecting you to provide things that you can't because you're selling used items. Like, used media, it's just a gray area, and just realize that when you're selling it. People think that selling used books, used media is like the safe zone because it's out of Amazon's eyesight or whatever. These automated systems will randomly catch you they'll randomly be sent to you. Like, so that's the problem. Like, it doesn't matter if you're selling the oldest books on the planet Earth. Like, I got like this 31 quantity is a 1962 book, okay? So it doesn't matter what titles you're actually selling. What matters is that you're randomly going to get hit from an AI bot, and then you're going to have to prove everything. And it's a stressful time. So good luck, guys. I'm not going to talk your head off anymore. 35 minutes. Maybe some of you watched this whole video. Some of you probably clicked off because I've been talking in circles. But good news for me. I'm going to make the best of this, and I'm never going to take this for granted again. And, going to just really try to put myself in a better, more safer spot going forward by doing FBM and keeping control of all of my inventory, so Amazon can't just pick and choose when they want to just cut me off. So catch you guys later. Woo! Cody is back in business. I'll catch you guys later.